All right, you guys, thank you, first of all, for being part of the Members Club. I appreciate every single one of you. Also, this is the full-length version of the video that you probably already saw on YouTube. What you're not gonna see on YouTube is obviously the full length of how long this video is, but you're gonna see a lot of the community and a lot of the talking that we do and a lot of the fun that we have and a lot of the connections that the other clients make, like you guys do here in the community, which I think is special. And so anyway, that's what this is. It's a 3-day program. Right now we have 3 dogs in this program and everybody's working on different things. So I wanted to just create a quick intro for these videos to let you know here it is. It's full length, enjoy it, and that's it. All right, so what do we got going on with Chief?
So Chief is an awesome dog. We love everything about him, super chill. But with other dogs, loses his mind. Okay. And with strange people, he's been doing a lot better. We've been watching your videos like crazy. So we have, you know, the collar, the Dogtra, and then we have the Hermspringer too. And we've been working with those the last month or so. And he can actually walk by people now. He never could before. So I feel comfortable with that now. But Good. Dogs, I feel like, is a whole nother animal, no pun intended, where it's just like, we just can't. I want to understand how to help him realize that, like, hey, it's okay. Mm-hmm. They're not gonna come get you. Like, I got you. But I don't know how to do that.
How old is he?
He's a little over a year.
Okay. Is he fixed?
No. And that's the other thing, is this is our first shepherd, and I am like trying to do the best that I can and making sure that he has everything he needs. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest things that you hear is, like, you shouldn't neuter a shepherd before 2 years. And then there's other people that, like, you should do it at a year. And if you do it a year, then you're a bad person because you stunted his growth and now his health is screwed up. And if you do it at 2 years, well, then you're also a bad person because now he's got all these behavioral issues. So, and that's like, I mean, that's just with neutering. With training, it's a whole another ballgame. We did R+ training for the first 10 months, maybe 11 months. And we're getting nowhere. We spent like thousands of dollars on trainers. We've tried everything. And finally we found you and a couple other online trainers. Then we started doing the prong collar. I was super anti-prong collar. Did not want to do that at all. And then, like, I just hit a wall, got super frustrated, wanted to help him. This was the only thing that worked, at least so far. The fact that we can walk by people is amazing now. And the fact that he's not flipping out with you guys in the room is, like, we've come so far. Like, my husband will tell you, like, he would have lost his mind like a month or 2 ago. But we're still struggling with other dogs.
So the transition going from positive only to using positive punishment in conjunction with positive reinforcement has expedited the progress? Oh
my God, yeah. Like, I was super hesitant to do that at all. Like, I just didn't want to, because I never had a shepherd before. And when you Google how to train a shepherd, they, like, fear monger you into saying, like, you do not punish a shepherd, like, for positive punishment. If you use prong collars or shot collars or whatever else it is, like, you ruined your shepherd. So I went for 10 months, like, thinking that and being like, I can't hurt him. I can't. Everything has to be positive. Everything has to be good. And it is, because now, like, I was never able to tell him, don't do that, because it was always like, well, you can't like yell, or you can't yell, you can't say anything, you can't, like, correct him, whatever, because he's gonna, like, snap at you or do all this stuff. And I'm just like, then how do I tell him what he's doing is wrong, and that I don't want him to do that? And he's not food motivated. So then they were like, well, just, like, hand feed him his own food. So we tried that, but then he wouldn't eat his breakfast. And we're just like, what else do you do here? Yeah. But, like, he's responded so well to the prong collar, like, really well.
Yeah, and most dogs do, and that's the scary thing about the internet is you can go on there, and if you want to think if the earth is flat, you can find some proof that it says that. And if you want to believe that the dog only responds to those certain things, you can find that too. So it's like, I know, I get it.
And you have both sides telling the other side that they're terrible.
Yeah, that's why
Like
exactly.
all R+ people are like, oh, you guys don't know how to train dogs. Like you got to be able to tell them what's wrong. And all the like balance trainers are like, they're just like, oh, you guys are evil.
Yeah.
You like punish your dogs and your dogs actually hate you. It's just like, as a owner that just wants a well-behaved dog, it is an absolute nightmare.
That's it. And that's why I don't call myself a trainer. And that's why I put out content. Yeah. I elevate myself away from all of that. I'm like, you guys can be childish together. I'm just going to train dogs.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you guys are what matters. Like you guys are going to do exactly what you did. Mm-hmm. You're going to go online. You're going to say, that happens every day. I've been doing this for 10 months, 12 months, whatever. We hit a wall. I found you. Makes more sense. We made more progress in 3 days than we did in the last year doing other types of training.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it happens every day. And so that's why I just tell people, I'm just going to let the dog owners find out for themselves what works and what doesn't.
I wish I would have found out sooner, but I was just super stubborn because of the internet and because of what they were telling me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, he's still super young. But then they also tell you, well, you need to fix it right away. And you're just like, okay. So you're like trying to find we've worked with like 3 different trainers trying to figure out what the heck we're supposed to be doing. And it's just like some of them won't even come to our house because they're like, oh, he's not ready for that yet. So then like we're trying to figure out how to how to do what they're telling us to do. And it's just
totally.
I like would walk him down the street and there would be a runner or a person and they were like, get away as fast as you can. Like I'd be like sprinting away with him, like hide behind a tree. Because it's just like, they're like, no bad experiences. Like he cannot like bark at all. And it's like this whole big thing. And I'm like, and then the best part was, and I told my husband to stop me if I keep talking, but the best part is like if he had a freak out, then it sets you back like 2 months in your training. Like they're just like, you completely screwed yourself. Like your dog is like gonna be set back for a while now, and it's just defeating. Like it's really tiring.
I'd love to be on a fly on a wall for those types of training sessions. Like I said, I think it sifts through and it filters through where dog owners click. They go, what the hell am I doing? Yeah. What is this?
Yeah.
You want me to run down the road because there's somebody else running? What?
Yeah.
It's crazy. But anyway, you're here, so that's good. Let's get to work. Okay. So right now you have the prong collar. What remote collar do you have?
So we have I think it's the 200 because Shields did not have the 280, but it does the same vibration. And that's the thing that we use right now. We don't use the stim.
Right.
Because we don't feel comfortable with it yet, and we want to make sure that we understand how to use it before we do that.
Sure.
Responds well to that high vibration.
Yeah.
Pulls them out, which is locked in.
Yeah, good. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Okay. So you would say your biggest concerns and goals right now are other dogs?
I want to understand why he's doing what he's doing, because I don't understand it. Part of me thinks it's fear. Mm-hmm. Part of me thinks it's like he doesn't know what to do with himself. And then it like becomes a combination of the two, especially like when he's in a heightened state, then he gets super excited and then he like does this thing with like my parents' dog will put his mouth like on top of her neck and just kind of like walk with her. It's like he doesn't know what to do with his body.
Yeah.
And then like strange dogs we can't even get close enough for me to even know what he's gonna do.
Like new dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's never bitten anybody or anything. He's like super chill and super friendly. And so I don't really want to, I don't feel comfortable testing it on my own and trying to figure it out. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know what your intentions are. So that's the biggest thing I want to understand.
Okay. Now, let's do it.
Sit, buddy.
First thing I want to do is I want to switch you out to, I'm going to switch you out to one of our training leashes.
Okay.
So that's a 6-foot nylon, probably 1 inch.
Yeah.
This is going to be a little bit better for you to handle with.
Okay.
So I'll pop this on. How's his obedience?
Pretty good. Okay. He's in his terrible tude. Very vocal. Hey.
Yeah. Oh, that's that. I couldn't tell the difference between the safety and... Okay, so yeah, definitely vocal. So
Hey.
I want you to just walk him around. I want to see how he does with you just on the leash here.
Chief, heel. Chief, heel. Chief, heel, buddy. You're okay. Good. Heel. Good boy. It's okay. Heel. Good job. Heel. It's okay. Good heel. Good heel. Good.
Where are you guys from?
Chief. Minnesota. Minneapolis.
Cool. I just put out a
Good heel.
pilot that I shot 3 years ago for the Outdoor Channel.
Heel.
We shot it
Good
in
job.
Minnesota.
Good heel.
I knew you were gonna
Good
ask
heel.
that. Hold on.
Heel. Good heel.
It was in.
Chief, heel. Chief, heel. Good. It's okay. Good job. Heel.
Lowry,
Good heel.
which is
Good heel.
it's
heel.
over by Albany
Good heel.
ish.
Good heel. Good job. Heel. Good
It
heel.
was Lowry, Minnesota. It was a
Good
really
heel.
great
Heel.
experience. Really great
Good
experience.
heel, buddy. Chief, heel.
Yeah.
Good heel.
Yeah, and that's kind of like a
Good boy.
smack dab Midwest.
heel.
You get some of the
Good
West,
heel.
you get some
What
of
you
the
doing?
middle.
Good
It's
job.
a nice, yeah, it's fun.
Chief, heel. Good heel.
All right, so let's just slow down a little bit and ask him to sit.
Chief, sit. Good sit.
Good. Good.
Good job.
Okay, now give it. Do you have a break command?
Good job. It's okay.
Okay, so just give him a
Okay.
break.
Good job.
All right, so what is his breed? I mean, is he like a working dog, a show dog? Do you know?
Working dog. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And we'd like to do volunteer work with him, but a lot of them say, obviously, they have to be human neutral and dog neutral in order to do that.
Yeah.
And so we're obviously not in a place where we can do that right now.
Right. Generally speaking, you're probably dealing with a young dog intact, and if he's got some working tendencies that line into him, he's going to be busy.
Yeah.
So all of those three combines, like intact, young, German Shepherd, working, are all shades of give me something to do.
Yeah.
And if you don't outlet that properly and give it nice structure, then what happens is you start seeing some of that stuff start stemming off, which is what you're dealing with the vocalization. So that's what you're dealing with the squeaky and it's like a combustion basically up here. It's like a tea kettle. So he's just like got all this stuff going on, and then he just starts to out like it's too much. So you'll notice when you go to higher stimulated areas like this, where there's other dogs that are going to be moving around, or you go to a park or there's a runner, he's going to start to build and combust, and then he's going to wear that combustion with vocalization. And so some of that is natural, some of that is involuntary as well. So he doesn't even know that he's doing it. So you have to pick and choose like when you're going to correct, when you're going to redirect, things like that. So you have to just make a call of saying like, oh, he doesn't even know he's doing this, let's move him away. Yeah. So really what you want to do is compartmentalize all of his behaviors to make sure that you can give him a job, essentially. He's got to have a job, he's got to have a purpose, he's got to have something to do. Have you done any tug work with him before?
No, we do like he loves the flirt pole, and he will do that until he just can't breathe anymore.
Okay, that's good. So yeah, that's what I would recommend is getting out like a ball or a tug toy, so we can start outletting him into something that he really, really likes. Because it sounds to me like you've done quite a bit of work with his obedience.
Yeah.
We want to outlet some of that, so I'm just trying to figure out exactly what kind of revs him up a little bit. Good boy. Good boy, kid. Kid. Good boy. Good boy.
Good.
Good boy. Good boy, buddy. Yes. Good boy. Good boy. Good job, buddy. Get that ball. Good boy. Good. So then what you want to do is you kind of get him interested. I mean, I'd like obsessed. Obsessed is great. If you can get a dog obsessed with something, you can do a lot of cool stuff. So essentially, when he walks into a room or a different environment, he's going to be checking everything's ID, right? So he's going to be like, hey, who are you? What are you doing here? You know, anything that moves, he's going to be like, whoa, there's somebody here.
Yep.
Alert barking, things like that. And you've done now that you've moved to using some punishment to say, hey, that's not, what the hell, man? That's like a wall. What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's going to make more sense. So anyway, what I like to do is to try to get a dog like this. Yeah. Good boy. Get it. Good boy. Get it. Good boy. Let's get it. Good boy. Good job, buddy. So there's a bit of an art to playing tug with a dog, and you have to, it takes a little bit of time. It's some finessing here. Good boy. Good boy. Yes. Good man. Good man. Yes. So see, Taylor walked in
I
and
would say that's amazing.
yeah, good boy. Good boy. Yeah, good boy. Yeah. Good boy. So see how he's checking her out?
Yep.
He's not barking because he's got a ball shoved in his mouth. Good boy. Good job. Good job. Give me that. Good boy. Good man. Good man. Yeah. Good boy. Good boy. Good job. Good. Good. Sit. Good. Okay. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. Good boy. So that's one of the first things I want to do is work on some engagement with him. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is, like you said, like he's not really that food motivated.
Yeah.
So we're going to be using the ball, tug toy. The ball will work for right now.
Okay.
Chief, come here. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Because he's a good dog. He just gets, I think what happens is he gets overly stimulated and he starts to just blow that steam off, you know,
In like
whining.
any way that he can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whining, barking.
Yep. Because he is the best dog. Like, we absolutely adore him. It's just like this one little thing.
All right, so I'm going to work with him here for a second.
Okay.
Start establishing some ground rules. Good boy. Okay. Heel. Good heel. Good. Heel. Nope. Heel. Good heel. Good heel. Nice job. Heel. Good. Good. Heel. Good. Good heel, bud. Nope. Good. Okay. Good boy.
Good catch, bud.
Good job. All right, cool.
Oh.
Do you have any questions on that so
No.
far?
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Do you have a focus command or anything with him?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So,
Oh, we have a watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
all right. So a couple things. Like I said, because of his working line, the ball, the tug, and object is probably going to be the best thing to pay him with, as well as to play with him with, as well as to engage with him with. That's just what they love the most, and it gives you an opportunity to actually work with the dog. So when he's playing with the tug, you have an opportunity to actually work with him. Where if you give him food, and food's not a bad thing. It's just it's gone, right?
Yeah, and he doesn't see it as high value like,
Right.
at all. We have a lab too that will
yes.
do anything for food,
Yeah.
but he will not. He doesn't care.
So, so Brittany just walked in, which is a new person,
Yeah.
and then Hawk, the dog over there, just got fired up, and so he looked at Brittany, he looked at Hawk, and now I'm just saying, hey, buddy, let's make some better decisions. Yeah, good boy.
Yeah, I don't know how he's not flipping his
Good,
mind right now.
good man, good man, good man. Hey, ah, good. Oh, good boy.
And we do see it more when people are walking at him.
Yep. Ooh, good boy. Ooh, good boy. Good. Good job. Oh, so strong. Good boy. So, what I'm doing is a lot of this stuff that I used to learn when I did personal protection. Oh. Is you're just having fun with him, but you're letting him win. It's not like a lot of people when they get a ball or a tug toy, they want to overpower the dog, hang it up here and say, sit. You don't want to do that.
So it's supposed to be fun for him.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a lot of fun for him, but basically, like this is him winning here. He's like pulling me around. I'm letting him win. I'm not like yeah, good boy. Good boy. 'Cause I want him to love this. Good boy. Good. Yeah. So when he let goes of it, when he lets it go, I just take it and I pop it into the treat pouch here. And I'm just gonna see what he does here, because there's a new person, squeaky dog, new person. Good boy, buddy. Good job, Chief. Good job. And like, because he's making these good decisions, Chief, go get that ball. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah, buddy. Good job. Good job. Good.
So I know I'm a big part of his nervousness too.
Yeah.
Because I get super nervous, like not knowing how he's going to react. So
Right.
like I can feel it. And so I understand it goes right down the leash and he can feel it too.
Yeah.
So I try to like keep my composure, but he does much better with my husband on a leash with other dogs than me.
It kind of perpetuates into this recycling thing of nervousness,
Yeah.
then protectiveness,
Yeah.
back to nervousness, and it kind of just goes like this. So if you're on the leash with him and you start doing something different for whatever reason and he cues that it's the other dog that's making you do that, it also goes into, well, I got to protect you now because you're nervous. So it's all a thing.
Yeah.
But that's why this out-of-state package is so nice, because you'll have an opportunity to obviously work privately to figure out some of these quirks and the things that we need to work on.
Yep.
But then once we get other dogs into the same room and we start working on that, it's going to push you into what you need to do, and it's going to be a great experience for you, like it or not. It's like one of those things you just have to do.
Yes, and that's what we need, and we just haven't had the opportunity yet. You have the pandemic, and then you just have like
Yeah.
people that like, for me, like trying to contact other trainers, and like I know what I need. I know I need to have like controlled situations where I can work with him, but for some reason I can't find that. Like they're just like, he needs to work on, you know, his core things first, and like as you can see, like we've worked a lot with him.
Yeah.
So like I felt like we needed that next step, and we just couldn't find it. So I was like, well, we're gonna go see Tom now because nobody else is gonna help us.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Let's have you work in here again
Okay.
on some healing patterns. You can use this if you want.
Okay.
I'll leave it right here. Like I said, I like using that because it's going to give you an opportunity to really engage with him, because I find that when you're using food, and I use food every day, 99% of all my training is reward-based system. It's just there's that 1% when a dog's being an a-hole that I'm going to tell him, don't be an a-hole, and he's like, oh, okay, I got it, right?
Yeah.
Easy enough. Yeah, my bad. Makes
Yes.
sense. So when I'm using food, it gives me an opportunity to pay him, but at the same time, it's not as engaging with the handler, because if you throw the food on the ground or whatever. Anyway, so I like using the toy when possible because it's between you two. You
Well, it
guys
seems
are
like he enjoys it so much.
Definitely.
More, too. Like you can tell he's just like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
excited. And with food, he's like, that's cool. Like
Yeah.
I got a treat. I like those, but
Yeah.
this is more fun.
Yeah, and it's gonna drain more energy too.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I have a couple different options for tugs, but the ball is nice because most dogs do like the ball, and you want to keep it on a rope so you have leverage to play with him.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be a keep away game. It's a reward system. A lot of people think that playing tug of war with your dog is trying to get it, take it away, and possess it.
Yeah.
That'll actually really make the dog want to never give it back to you, because you're always hiding it and making him work double time to get it back. So really, when you're playing with him and then he drops it on command, you're immediately releasing it again, and you're trying to make it fun for both of you. So you actually want the duration of the tug to be long.
Good heel, buddy. Good heel. Chief heel. Good heel. Good boy. Good heel. Chief heel. Oh, other side. Come here. Good boy. Good boy. Heel. Oh. See, what do you recommend when he does that?
Well, I think you have too much leash for him,
Okay.
so I would choke up your
Come up
leash
further.
about
Okay.
there. Because if you give him, that's why I tell people you don't want to be tight on him, but
Sit.
you certainly don't want to be like giving him that much space. The more space you give him on the leash, the more opportunities he has to fail. So
Okay.
if he's there, he is going to be less likely to wrap around your legs because he doesn't have that leash to do it.
Setting him up for success.
Correct. So
Okay.
you want to keep him not tight, but you want to keep him in a distance to where he's not going to keep wrapping around you.
Gotcha. Are you tired already? Let's go. Good. Heel. Chief, heel. Good heel. Good boy. Chief, heel. Heel. Good heel. Good heel. Heel. Good heel, buddy. Good job. Good job. Good heel. Heel. Good heel. Good heel. Chief, stop. Chief, sit. Good sit. Good job. Good boy. Good job. Wow.
So what I would do with the ball is break him to it.
Okay.
So you would okay him to it.
And then like throw it out.
You don't have to throw it out. I like to. The reason why I like to throw it like to the side is because it makes it explosive for the dog, and they really like that.
And they're like, oh, it's my break. Like I get to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it makes it more of a prey drive, and it also encourages and really highlights the break command. Okay, and then boom, he just gets after it.
Okay.
That's where and I find that most working dogs who work for items like exterior items like this, what ends up happening is they anticipate things. They're like, when are you gonna explode it? When's it gonna happen? And okay, boom, and then the dog just like nails it, and that kind of anticipates that. And I find that dogs that are anticipating a reward, especially something that they get very like a adrenaline rush from, like food, they're like, it's more here. And with the tugs, it's more like prey drive, primal, especially with him being a working dog, you know, like it's like, yeah.
Where are you going? Okay, drop.
And then, go ahead, keep doing that.
Okay. Sit. Good sit. All right, let's go. Heel. Good heel. Heel. Good boy. Good job. Heel. Good heel. 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 Good heel. Good boy. Good heel. Heel. Come on. Good heel. Good job. Good boy. Heel. Come on. Good. Good heel. Good boy. Good heel. Come on. Heel.
Good.
Good job. Good job. Chief step. Chief sit. Good. Okay.
There you go.
Whoa.
Good.
Good job.
All right, I'm just gonna move this fake dog around a little bit, and you're gonna
Okay.
implement the same things that you're doing.
Okay. Oh, good job. Good boy. Oh, leave it. Good. Good job. Good job.
Good, there you
Good
go.
boy. Good
I was just gonna
boy.
tell you to move your body around a little bit.
Okay.
Yep, see? Yeah, good.
Good boy.
So you're taking his head and you're saying, hey, let's go this way.
Okay.
Yep, good.
Come here. Here, let's go. Good
Nice.
boy.
Good job. Well
Good
done.
job. Good job. Right here. Right here. Leave it. Good.
Good.
Good boy.
Now just hold it to get him engaged. So just take it from him.
Okay.
Take
Oh,
the ball
leave
from
it
him.
or drop it?
Now,
Good.
yep, just put it, yep. Now work him again. Just work him.
With a heel.
Whatever, yeah.
Okay. Come on, heel.
Good.
Good heel. Right here. Heel. Good. Good job. Heel. Chief. Chief, leave it. Good. Good boy.
Yeah, now you can play tug with him.
Chief. Good boy. Good job.
And just remember to okay him when you do that.
Oh, yes. Shoot.
Just that way, because it'll get pretty sloppy, like when you're playing tug with him and stuff, and then you just want to make sure, okay, now you can do
Like
it.
he
Because
understands.
you want to transition very cleanly.
Okay.
You want to transition from working to tug, because if he doesn't have that distinguishing factor, he's going to constantly try to grab that ball
He's
to
going to
play.
think it's play all the time.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you don't want to create that beast.
I think we might have a little bit on accident. Good job. Good job.
Good. Good.
boy.
All right, now just tell him to drop it.
Drop. Chief, drop.
Good.
Good drop. Sit.
Good. And
Good
then
sit.
what I would do is just hold it to your side. Yeah, just like that. Keep it neutral. Because basically what you want to do is you want to make him work for it.
Okay.
And what I find,
Leave it.
yep. So
Sit.
see,
Good
that's,
sit.
that's it.
Yep.
So it's there, and he needs to know that it's like in plain. It's kind of like the cookie jar type thing. It's like where you're like, "Can I get one?" You're like, "Nope, not until I say." Yeah, exactly. So you want to make sure that you have that impulse control to say, "Hey, it's right here, buddy. Let's work a little bit." It encourages drive, where he's doing exactly that.
Yep.
Right? Because then that is more important than that. If you have it behind your back, he's going to go, "Well, okay, look at the dog then." Right? So you're keeping that present. but it's also building that impulse control to say, yeah, it's here, bud, but you got to work a little bit before you have it. And that kind of goes hand in hand with the break too, because you're like, work, okay. And he's like, boom, and he nails it.
That makes a lot of sense. And I think that not having that before was the reason that I had it behind my back, because he would probably go for it.
Right.
So it makes sense to have that connection of like, hey, you only get it when I tell you that you
Correct.
get it. So good heel. Chief, heel. Good heel, buddy. Good heel. Chief, heel. Good heel.
Good.
Heel. Good heel.
Now you can just draw back
Heel.
and you
Chief,
can draw
heel.
back, yep, and then you can pay him with the ball.
Good. Chief. Okay.
Good.
Good job. Good boy. Good job. Oh, you dropped it. You dropped it. There you go.
Yeah, because he wants to play tug.
Good job. He's like, I don't want it unless you're on the other side.
Right.
Good job. Good job.
Which there you can start breaking him in your hand then,
Okay.
instead of on there, because he just likes tug more.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's good actually.
I think that was one of the main missing pieces, where just letting him, making it very clear,
Yeah.
like when that your break is, basically.
Yeah.
For me, just to like make it easier, I would always have him sit, and that would remind me that like, okay, next is okay, and then he can go and do like
Right.
on our walks and stuff. But like this type of thing is,
You want to make it more explosive.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just like any type of sports drill or any type of impulse control drill to really keep you on your feet. Like, it's duck, duck, goose. Like, you never know when it's going to happen. And when it does, boom, you got to be ready. So if you put it into more of a routine, it's like, do, 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 do. Okay, I'm sitting. Okay, you're going to, like, just make it more like, yeah, exactly. Make it more explosive for him. So he's constantly like, is it now? Is it now? Is it now? I think it's now. Okay, it's not now. And he's just constantly anticipating things, because then he's going to be really explosive.
yeah. And that's what we've been missing. Like he's such a good temperament.
Yeah.
He's kind of lazy. So like from the training aspect of it, we couldn't ever get him to be like, oh, I'm super excited about this. It was always like, all right, okay, I'll sit. Okay, I'll do this. And like we found out that toys worked really well. So we started with that, which increases motivation a little bit, but
Yeah.
we don't see that explosive, like, oh, I'm really excited about
Yeah.
this. Or, oh, I really want to do this. Are you tired now?
So when he gets like that, that's where you just you would just put the toy away. Like if you had a pouch or a shirt or a hoodie that you can pop it in. Basically, it's the same thing that like they do when they do personal protection or police work. Is as soon as the dog either drops the toy, lets go of the toy, or shows any sign of disinterest, goes away.
Okay.
Immediately. So it basically tells them that as soon as you disassociate yourself with this in any way, shape, or form, it goes away. It's negatively removed from the situation. So it's not necessarily negative punishment, because at that point he doesn't care about it. So he's like not really. So really what it is just negative immediately when he's like there when you were talking and he's kind of just like chirping at it. Nope, it's gone. You're either obsessed with this or you don't get it, because that's what creates working dogs, police dogs, personal protection dogs, any type of ring dog, where they're like, they become obsessed with it because they have to be on 100% all the time, like full throttle, RPMs are just blasting. And the minute they show like a half mass, gone. You're either back in the crate, in the truck, or the item's getting taken away, or both. As soon as they drop it, they're done. So they learn, they're like, son of a. And then the next time they come out, they're like, I'm not dropping this thing. And you're like, good, don't drop the bad guy. Keep on that bad guy, right? Yeah. Or in his case, like, good, this is the most important thing out here. And he's like, I don't want to drop it because it's going to go away.
Yeah, I think that was definitely a big thing that we just didn't understand, is how to motivate him without food.
Right.
Because everybody's always about food, which is understandable and works for a lot of dogs, but not for him, and not for the few others that don't.
Well, the problem is it also doesn't discourage behavior in reality. So we can talk about, well, counter conditioning and removing him from the situation, or literally sprinting the other direction at 6 a.m. in the morning when there's a runner around, but it doesn't discourage the behavior that's happening. So when we use positive reinforcement, we're adding something to the equation to simply reinforce something, to say, I want you to do this. This is encouraged behavior. But on the other end of the spectrum of positive punishment, it's the same exact thing, as we're discouraging behavior when it happens, to say, I don't want that to happen. So anyway, it makes sense that you're coming full circle now and you're finding balance, which millions of other people do at some point, and you immediately see results. And we have people come in. We had this one lady come in from Michigan with a German Shepherd, and she said the same thing. Her trainer said that if she ever used a prong collar on her dog, it would shut her dog down forever, and her dog would hate her forever. Her dog would never be the same. after she left here, she expedited in 3 days of training faster than she did with a year working with another trainer that was telling her to never use any type of correction to teach her dog what she can't do. And she knew, she's like, I don't get it. Like, it doesn't make sense. Why am I turning my back to a dog that is maliciously lunging at people? I can't, that doesn't, and she said, I got sick of just cutting up hot dogs 6 in the morning and
So
my
many
hands,
hot dogs.
yeah. And it's like,
And cheese sticks. He likes
exactly.
cheese.
And
Yeah.
her dog was, having GI issues, and I'm like,
Yep.
just correct the behavior, man. Just get it over with. It's one and done, you know?
Well, that episode is why we came out here.
Oh, that was the one you
That
saw?
was the episode. We're from Michigan.
See?
And their dog was the same as our dog.
So you know.
And she literally like spoke to me. She was like, we did
Yeah.
R plus training for this many months. Like she was me
Right.
like a month ago. Like
Right.
it's just like, okay. Like
Yeah.
at that moment we were like, this is what we need to do. It makes sense now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's frustrating, but I personally don't have anything against R plus trainers. It's just I have something against them saying that if you do something else, it's not going to work or it's going to ruin your dog. That's a huge.
Yeah. Well,
that's a
every
huge
dog
problem.
is different. Like you have to understand that you have to train dogs the way that they respond well. And
Yeah.
he was not responding well to hot dogs. Our lab all day long. He'll
Right.
do whatever you want for a hot dog. But then there's also the other caveat where he won't listen without a hot dog.
Right. That's why balanced training is you're just mixing a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Just like with parenting. If you actually raised a child with R plus, could you imagine what that would look like? It would be a nightmare.
Oh yeah. Good job. Heel, Chief. Heel. Good heel. Ah. Heel. Good heel. Good job. Heel. Good heel. Good job, buddy. Heel. Good heel. Good job. Good boy. Heel. Heel. Nope. Good boy. Heel. Good job. Good heel. Good boy. Heel. Good. Come on. Heel. Good heel. Good job.
Okay. Let's slow down a little bit.
Okay.
Let's give him a little break.
Frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, and what I want you to do is when you're starting to work with him in that scenario, change it up a little bit and slow everything down. Like
Okay.
the slower the better.
So I can feel my heart rate moving really
you're,
fast.
You're working yourself up.
Yeah.
Which is then working him up.
Yep.
So you want to slow everything down.
Okay.
So let me show you how I would want you to heal him.
Okay.
Chief, heel. Good. So you want to be more like this. Good heel, buddy.
Okay.
Basically, you were, ping-ponging, bing, 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 and then
Yeah.
he's going to start to build.
Yeah.
And that's where he's getting frustrated is, good. Leave it.
He's like, something should be happening right
Good.
now.
Good. Good man. Good. So see right there how I neutralized that situation by just allowing him to be a dog for a second instead
Yeah.
of anticipating bad things.
Yeah.
So not like freaking out with him. I just said leave it with him when he saw the dog.
Mm-hmm.
But that was good. That was a really good interaction.
Okay.
But that was good because of the way that I handled the situation,
Yep.
Heel. Good. So anyway, you just want to make sure that when you're handling, you're as calm as possible.
Okay.
So when you're handling with him, just slow everything down.
Okay.
That's what you want to do. Is just like I think you guys were talking about is when you ask Butter to do something, or when she sees a dog, you automatically say something, or maybe it was her. I'm not sure, but yeah.
I
Right.
do too. Yep.
So similarly to like what we were just working on here with the handling is making sure that when we're in an environment that's going to test the dog, it's going to be a test, it's going to be a challenge, you want to make sure that you're as calm as possible. Exactly. And quite literally you have to, like I have to always tell people to slow down and breathe because people get anxious and they work back and forth, and then you saw like with him, he'll get frustrated and start hitting your feet like that.
Yep.
So what we'll do is we'll have her, if you want to slide him around, you can.
Come on, let's go. It's okay. Come on. Good boy. Good job.
Good.
Good job.
All right, and then I have a crate for you too, so.
Come on. Good job. Good job. Sit. Good boy.
Good. The reason why we're removing him from the situation is just because we're not prepared for that
Oh, yeah.
necessarily.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not,
Right.
for sure.
So sometimes when dogs just pop out like the daycare dogs, we just, okay, let's play it.
Yeah.
But when we have an opportunity to say, let's just remove the situation, we do.
Yeah.
All right. So what we want to do to make him successful, because he's going to be chirpy, is just work him,
Okay.
but work him structurally. I got a seat for you right here. Work him structurally where you're giving him things to do and you're giving him tasks to do without ping-ponging. So just work on that calmness here.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you want the balls here, just an FYI for everybody, we do have treats here. If anybody needs any treats or wants higher value treats, these are beef liver, these are salmon skin. So feel free to use those at your disposal or anything else that we're using.
Wonderful.
So now that we're all here and we're hanging out,
Sit.
this is how it is. It's nice and relaxed. Each dog is working on individual things. You guys are pretty much working on very similar things with some stranger danger issues or concerns, not really issues, just insecurity / building confidence / some reactivity to people we don't know, very similar stuff. And over here with Chief, we're working on basically reintroducing what to do when he gets chirpy, he gets whiny, he's fixed, right, you said?
He's not.
He's not, okay. So he's an intact 1-year-old German Shepherd. One, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Around-ish. So
Yeah.
anyway, what we're dealing with is some of this chirping, some of this stimulation. What do we do and why is it being caused? So as we get dogs out, we'll go over what everyone's working on. But anyway, so that's what we're working on with Chief. He's a pretty sweet dog. He's just can become reactive, and reactive is more frustration, and it's like, hey, what do I do? And so that's what we're working on with him. So right now what we're working on is calming some of this handling down. So before, what we were doing, if you guys were watching, is when I said, okay, move around, we were very like sprinting back and forth. So it's very natural and normal for people to do that because your pace is matching what your brain is doing. So if you ever want to know what somebody's thinking, just watch what their body's doing, right? Like you can tell if somebody's sitting down listening versus somebody sitting down sleeping versus somebody, like if your brain is, like if you're on the phone, right, we're doing this, like we're always like doing, because our body is kind of following suit to our conversation in our head with ourselves or with other people. So that's what you were doing, is you were like, okay, there's a dog, what are we going to do? I don't want to make a mistake, I want to do good.
Yeah.
And your motor in your body picked up on that.
Yep.
So you want to decrease that by being as calm as possible. But the slower you go, the better, because it'll be able to tell you if your dog is paying attention to you or not. If you're going fast, it's hard to tell if you're keeping up with each other.
Yeah.
So just practice that.
Let's go.
Very simple, very basic.
Heel.
It's not a test, it's just practice.
Heel. Good. Heel. Heel. Come on. You don't want to go? Let's
Yep.
go. Let's go. Good. Heel. Chief.
I'm just going to
heel.
grab my water. Be right back.
Good heel. Good boy. Chief heel. Good job. Good boy. Good heel. Good. Chief heel. Good heel. Good heel. Heel. Good. You're okay. Heel. Come on. Let's go. Good job. Good heel, buddy. Good heel.
Good. All right. Now let's just come back and then stop and ask him to sit really quick.
Okay. Chief, sit. Good sit.
Good. Okay. And a quick little side note, everybody has different commands for the most part. So if I say ask your dog to sit, but your sit is place, just say place. It's just universal. My head will come spinning off my body if I try to get everybody's thing together. So anyway, just make sure that you guys are understanding of that too when I ask you to do something. It's on your cues. Okay, good. He's shutting down just a little bit because this is very overwhelming for him, which is okay. It's not so much he needs to go he needs to go the long run, but we want to just get him. This is good for him, exposure to all these different things.
Yeah.
So anyway, do you have any questions before we continue?
I don't think so. It's more me just staying calm than anything.
Right.
So
Exactly.
it's just a mindset thing.
Exactly. So I'm going to grab our fake dog friend,
Okay.
and I'm just going to start spinning around the room, and I want you to just practice what you just did with the fake dog friend.
Okay.
He might be a little tired. And so if he plays good, if he doesn't, that's okay. But I mean, with the ball, I mean. So if you want to reward him with that, if he does well, you can. But right now, it's really just about you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I even do this with people in my seminar where I tell you to put your dog away, and I get another dog out, and I just practice without a dog.
Yeah. Good boy. Good heel. Chief heel. Good. Good. You're okay. Chief heel. Oh, good job. Good heel. Chief heel.
Good.
Good heel.
Nice.
Good
Nice and calm. That
heel.
was good.
Good job. Good heel. Heel, buddy. Heel. Good job. Good heel. Good heel. Heel. Good heel. Good job. Heel. Good. Good heel. Chief heel. Good heel. Good job. Heel. Good. Good heel. Heel.
So one recommendation is also when you're working with him, try to also turn down some of the verbal stuff.
Okay. Oh, sorry, buddy. Yes.
So just because I think that that's also like another matching thing is like the soothingness of layering over that. It's not a bad thing. I'm just trying to take away anything that might make him more anxious.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we're constantly giving him information, it might make him a little on edge.
Okay.
So good heel is fine every now and then, but let's decrease some of that constantness to it. So when you ask him to heel and he does it, good heel, but maybe just decrease it a little bit.
Okay. Let's go.
If he starts to drift a little bit,
Heel.
you have to say the command again.
Physically?
Heel.
Like physically drift?
Yeah, like if he
Yeah.
starts to pull ahead.
Right. No, you don't have to, but sometimes you can ask the dog really quickly to heel and maybe they can get back into line. But oftentimes I just quickly just pop the leash if they get out of heel.
Heel. I think that was a main question I had is like, when do you use pressure and when do you pop?
What type of pressure?
Like when we ask him to sit and he doesn't right away, we'll kind of just pull up a little bit and then he'll sit.
Yeah.
But then like the pop, is that like when he,
Ooh, yeah.
like when's that?
Turn back towards me and I'll tell you.
Heel.
Very good. Good question. So the question, so everyone understands, is we kind of work in that with Butter. So with Butter is the same thing as when we ask her to sit and she's not sitting, we were having constant pressure up. So when you're using the prong collar, and then let's just put Chief in a sit, give him a little break here.
Okay.
And then I'll kind of go over this a little
sit.
bit more in depth. So
Good
when
sit.
you're using the prong collar, it's a tool like anything else. So you can use it in a lot of the treats I can use, the squeaker I can use, the e-collar I can use, the prong. I can use all these different things like a clown and figure out like what's going to work best for the dog. They're all communication. They have a lot of different variances. They have a lot of different opportunities to give different types of information. So great question on what's the difference and when should you pop or pop like this instead of just apply almost a constant pressure. And we went over this in our No Bad Dog. We have a No Bad Dog club where we kind of have a community now online, which is really cool. And we all kind of talk, and it's kind of our safe space getting away from the entire billions of people. It's like, okay, we're all on the same page. We're all here to learn and grow from each other. That was one of the conversations we had is when you're using a prong collar or maybe a younger puppy, you don't have to use the prong collar as a correction. You can use it as a collar to give the dog information without choking them out and without having them gag and whatever, because that's what flat collars or slip collars will do, because sometimes people will have a younger dog where they don't need the correction of a prong, but they're choking themselves out. So the prong collar will help with that. So the difference would be if your puppy is going in front of you, you're not going to slam them for crossing that line and correct him for crossing that line. It doesn't matter if it's a prong or a martingale or anything. You're not going to pop with that, but what you can do, is when he or she starts to go, you can apply pressure and get the dog back to where you want them without really correcting them at all. But it's a safer tool to use because the pressure is being distributed more cleanly, if you will. So going back to what you were saying is the pop is really going to come down to a absolutely not, you've made a really bad decision or you're just being a jerk and not listening, and that's where you're like, and then the kind of like the pressure that we're talking about. So maybe there's another dog over there and you ask him to sit. It's the same thing that we were talking about earlier with Butter. We ask the dog to sit and all of a sudden the dog's like locked in on the other dog. We might not say like, hey, slam, or hey, pop, or hey, correction. We might just add a little bit of pressure up with the prong collar like this, and then get the dog into a sit. But there's certain dogs who don't care about that. They need that pop, they need that snapping out of it. So every dog is a little bit different, but when I'm working on heeling, if you have an adult dog like Chief, and they know the general invisible line of where and when they can pass and whatever, that's where I'll pop.
Okay.
Because you're gonna lose leverage if you start pulling the dog back.
Yeah.
So the correction with the pop is gonna be more fair and applied in that circumstance. If the dog is like, yeah, I know heel, I'm crossing that line anyway, pop. Because as soon as they cross the line, you're gonna lose your leverage. Yeah. So it's kind of counterintuitive, because there's often times where I tell people you can't pull, and you can't when you're making a correction. But when you're pulling on the prong collar, it also works as that power steering mechanism to give the safest leverage to work with that leash pressure. But the pop is gonna be more of a, hey.
Knock it off.
Yeah, knock it off, that's bad, pay attention.
Okay.
And then the pull is gonna be more like, let's go this way. And they're like, you know? So I think at the end of the day, it's very discretionary to what you're working on with the dog.
Okay.
For an example, like earlier when we were working with Indy, which is the Doberman, she's got this stranger danger thing where she particularly doesn't love the camera. Kind of like Butter, you know, just suspicious of like, what's
New
that,
things,
right?
yeah.
So earlier we were talking about, I wasn't actually using she was on a prong collar. Actually, I think all the dogs are on a prong collar, which, yay, I've done, you know, that means you guys are paying attention to my videos, so that's good. But anyway, so with Indy, what we were doing is we actually were just doing some recalls with her, and we switched to a flat, and the prong collar was being used in other different scenarios. And so you'll see as we work with each individual dog that everybody's gonna get a different, they may have all the same equipment, but we might use it all completely different because each dog is different. Do you have a focus command with him?
It's watch.
It's watch, okay.
Mm-hmm.
How does he do with that?
Oh, he does okay. Okay. Sit. Chief, watch. Good boy. Good boy. Good. Chief, watch. Watch. Good.
Okay.
Okay. Good job. Oh, come
Good.
here. Good.
All right.
Chief, come here.
All right, we're gonna do some more obedience here. So
Okay.
let's start with the place command.
Good job. Chief, place. Good place. Good job. Oh, get back here. Good.
Okay, now hold that. So we talk about some of that whining and stuff.
Yep.
Keep them busy on you. So here, let me see the ball. See the leash? Okay, break. Let me show you what I do. So you wanna constantly kind of keep him charged up on you.
Yep.
He likes these.
What are those? The
Beef liver.
Oh, in the blue container?
Yeah.
I think we've
big
had
blue
those
one.
before.
Yeah, he likes those. You want to give him a job and keep him busy and keep him locked on you. What do you think of that? Yeah. Good man. All right. Place. Good place. Sit. Good. Good. And then this is where you can do your focus. Focus. Good focus. Focus on a burp. Good focus. Good man. Good. Focus. Good focus. Good. Good focus. Yes. Come. Sit. Come. Sit. Yes. Good. Down. Yes. Good. Sit. Good sit. Good. Heel. Good. Heel. Good. Heel. Heel. Good. Good. Heel. Good. Sit. Good. Down. Heel. Place. Good. Sit. Yes. Good. Yes. Good.
Oh yeah. He like initially gets really
Down.
charged up,
Down.
and then it's almost like a
Good.
like a switch flips, and he's like, okay, I'm cool.
Good.
But it's like always this like big thing.
Yes. Yes. Good. Okay, break. So you see how I did that?
Yeah, that was a miracle.
Yeah. So you want to make them just like more structured.
Okay.
Like as there's things going on around you, you want to create calmness and clarity. Do this. Do this. Do this. Do this. Do that. Do this.
Is there a point where, because I can tell like his energy starts to just calm down and he'll like lay down or something?
Yeah.
Is that like a point where I can be like, okay, we're gonna like chill now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, once he starts to calm down a little
Okay.
bit. Okay, I'm going to have you do that now. Do you want some treats or anything?
Yeah, I didn't bring my
I have
pouches in
some
the
if you
car.
want
Okay,
some.
yeah. Sit. Good sit.
These are the ones he likes.
Okay. I'm gonna go on this side of you, buddy.
You're good to put them here.
Heel.
I just don't know what we're going to do with the other two because they're
Chief, place. Good place.
Taken.
Good job. Good job. Good place.
Sure.
Good place. Good job. Good job. Heel. Up. Good. Good. Heel. Good. Chief, heel. Good. Chief, heel. Heel.
Now focus him in.
Good.
Ask him
Sit.
to do something. There you go.
Good. Watch. Good. Good. Watch,
So
buddy.
there's a little bit of what you were doing with the engagement, but it's also like the clarity too, where you're like, bang bang bang, focus, bang bang bang, focus. So it's a bit of a finesse thing. So keep
Yeah,
working on
it feels like it's like almost like a rhythm that I have
Yes.
to get in, where it's just like
Yep.
trying to feel it out.
Yeah. So work on it.
Okay. Heel. Chief, heel. Heel. Good, heel. Heel. Good boy. Good job. Chief, place. Good place. Sit. Watch. Good. Good job. Good boy. Good job. Off. Good. Heel. Good boy. Not dead. Heel.
Good.
Good heel. Good job. Chief, sit. Good. Good. Okay. Good job, bud. Good job. Heel, place. Good boy. Good job. Off. Good.
Good. That's
Heel.
good.
Good.
See how you're
Heel.
starting to really like tune them up?
Yeah. Heel. Good. Heel.
And I would just say that that's just structure.
Okay. Good job. Chief, heel. Good. Yes.
Good.
Chief, sit.
He does like these treats though.
Good. Yeah, I see that.
So that's good.
Okay.
Because in
Good
times
job.
where, what we talked about earlier, times where he's not food motivated, you have the ball. Times
Yeah.
where he's not ball motivated, you have the treats. So you kind of bounce back and forth.
Yeah.
So good. But basically what the food does is it just
Sit.
kind of brings everything together and then just hang out right there. Good. And then ask for a focus here.
Chief, watch. Watch.
Just give him a little, yep, good.
Watch.
I would do more like, just give him a couple taps.
Like kind of like.
Yeah.
Watch.
Yeah. Like flick it like this. More like this. Like, hey,
Okay.
like that.
Good,
See?
okay.
Yeah, good boy, good boy. Now give him a break.
Yeah. Oh, you ate my whole.
It's okay. Give him a break.
Okay.
All right,
Okay, bud.
cool. So again, you're still gonna have some of this you're still gonna have some of this tea kettling kind of blow off steam here.
Literal sounds like a tea kettle. Like
Yeah.
he's just like.
Yeah. And you're gonna have some of that in between, but the goal is here. I'm gonna do it one more time and I'll show you because it's you're doing good at it, but I want to show you. Doesn't like the salmon. Likes the beef though. Good.
You're like, there we go.
So all you do is you kind of have like a direct, structured thing like, come. Good. Sit. Good. Heel. Come out. No. Heel. Heel. Good. Heel. Heel. Yeah, I know. Good. Heel. Sit. Good. Heel. Good. Sit. Nope. Good. Okay, break. Good. So you kind of just like suck them in, bring them out, suck them in, bring them out. Good. Place. Good place. Well done. Down. Good down. Good. Good. Good down, buddy. Good. I'm just taking that one piece. Good down. Good down, bud. Good down. So you're gonna get some of that squeakiness. Good down.
Do they like? Is that just a young shepherd thing, and they eventually
Good.
kind of?
It could. I think it's definitely a shepherd thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of it is like a young shepherd thing. Yes, buddy. Good. Good. If you have a whiny, anxious dog, give him something to do. Pay him for that calmness. Just taking that treat, letting him work it out of your hands. Good. Hang out. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Paying him for that calmness. Good. Hanging out. Paying for that calmness. Good boy. Well done. Good. Yeah. Good boy. Good. But just remember, because he's young and this is all new to him, it's not going to be perfect.
Patience.
Yeah, patience and expectations. He's doing really good for a very vocal dog. He's chirping a little bit, but nothing overwhelming and, okay, we got to leave the room. Hey. Yes. Good. 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 I know. Very good. Very good boy. Good boy. Down. Good.
So is that frustration right there?
Yeah, frustration of wanting to do something else. Break.
Okay.
Okay, good. But that's how you would get that down a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Here, you want to work him again?
Good heel. Good job. Chief heel. Good heel. Chief place. Good place. Good job. Down. Good. Good boy. Okay, off. Good. Heel. Good boy. Chief heel. Heel. Good. Good boy. Good place. Okay. Good boy. Good job. Place.
So you have to practice what works best for him. So if it's the place down, stay focus a little bit, that'll get better and better. Like right now, you can limit it to 15 seconds without any vocalization, and then you get bigger and better. And
Okay.
but I think he's just so used to kind of skyrocketing and doing whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And as we progress with him, we'll have him meet other dogs, and I think once he
Yeah.
starts meeting other dogs, he'll be less vocal too, because we're going to let him do what he wants to do, and it's not going to be so,
Yeah.
as we're talking, like he's being good.
Good boy.
Good. So you almost just have to practice calmness. You have to practice like timeout, like, hey, relax for a little bit. Not in a punishment timeout, but as like a calm down timeout.
And he really likes his crate. Like he likes to take naps in there and go in there, and we
Yeah.
kind of did that to do like the decompression.
Yeah.
But we'd like to be able for him to decompress outside of the crate too. And we have one of these at home, and he loves it. Like he'll
Yeah.
just sit on it all day long.
Yeah.
Um,
But that was my main first goal with him, is to get him, figure out a routine and something that we can do to calm him down so he's not so squeaky.
yeah.
How was Chief last night? Tired?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very
so
tired.
I
Very tired.
always tell people, like, when you get a dog coming in for the first time, the mental stimulation is always going to just whoop them.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't, but a lot of times it does, and you'll just notice that the big difference between working him mentally and going to the park to play fetch, they're both great, but you'll see that the mental stimulation over the course of accumulation of probably 2 hours yesterday of really working him straight, will exhaust him completely. So
Yeah.
it's good for people to see that they're like, I've never seen my dog this tired. But then in rebuttal, it's like, but you've also never worked your dog the way that we just did. So
Yeah. Yeah.
do you have
pushing him.
yeah, in testing him.
Yeah. I
And
mean, he was definitely more vocal when he came home last night. I think it was just a lot of like, whoa, that was a lot. And I'm like
Yeah.
home, I'm like, I don't know what to do with myself. I'm going to go outside and play.
Yep.
Because he was just like, holy crap.
Yep. Now, usually on like tonight and going into tomorrow for sure, you'll see more of like what he can be. Like you said, sometimes dogs have these like little like spurts of that
Spurts,
where
yeah.
where they're kind of like getting it out, and they're like, because we suppressed it a lot yesterday. We were like, nope, pay attention, pay attention. And then when he gets home, he does that. He's like, rah.
He's like, it's all here. I can
Yeah.
scream. Yeah.
So you'll notice tonight going into tomorrow, you'll start to see more of this, more calmness. As your relationship builds, the confidence, your confidence on the leash will get better, and then of course just the exhaustion of working.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think for me, like understanding what he's capable of makes me feel more comfortable because I'm like, I know
Yeah.
you can do it.
Yeah.
Because like before coming here, it's very much like, dude, like I don't know what you're about to do. You're gonna freak out. So like I tense up and ping pong like I did yesterday.
Yeah.
But even seeing him like towards the end, like just much more relaxed, it's easier. And
Yeah.
you can tell that it helps him too.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Indy and Mindy yesterday.
Indy and Mindy. Yeah.
Or and the Butter and the other owner was like, you could tell once I just told her to relax, she herself literally took a deep breath.
Yep.
Of like, oh, okay, that
Yeah.
feels better.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll notice these little wins. They're small, but they're cumulative, and it makes a big
huge
difference.
to me. Like it's
Yeah.
just like it's kind of I think either you said it yesterday or we were watching your videos yesterday too. But it's just like the little things. Like you make one little step, it means your dog can do so much more.
Yeah.
Like there's a bigger picture of that.
Yeah.
So like seeing that in him yesterday was really cool too.
Yeah, it opens up a big door.
Yeah, we watched the video
Absolutely.
with Biggs yesterday too. That was cute.
Oh yeah.
A little vicious guy.
Yeah, that was funny. Okay. Do you have any questions about the training or anything right now?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think he's all amped up and ready to go, so he's probably going to be
Yeah.
extra vocal today.
So yesterday, my big concern was the vocalization and the chirping, anxiety. And the anxiety isn't coming from necessarily a bad place. It's more of like an excitement anxiety, like standing out front of your favorite like venue when your band is gonna play and you're like, oh man, let me in, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That type of anxiety where he's just kind of excited and he's chirping off and he's just nervous. Some people will tap their legs, some people will like whatever, right? We all have these
Fiddle,
different,
yeah.
we all have these different ticks of how we kind of express and wear that anxiety, whether it's good anxiety, bad anxiety. And with him, I think that that's how he does that, is he wears that like, there's a dog. Did you see the dog? Are we seeing the dog? Who is it? I've never smelled this dog before.
Yeah.
So you're seeing these little like chirps.
Yeah.
So like I said before, a lot of that is involuntary. I don't think that,
Just talking.
yeah. And it's hard to correct the dog for involuntary behavior because
Yeah.
they don't even realize they're doing it.
I think that's the hardest thing with him is understanding like when it's like, okay, he's just talking, which like I love about him. Like he just talks. But
Yeah.
then also like when is it like, hey, like knock it off. Like
Right.
you shouldn't be doing that right
Yeah.
now type of thing.
And that's where that's your discretionary like picture. You have to make sure that you
Yeah.
do that. And so for me, as a general rule, it would be like these little chirping things I get, but as soon as you start to really bark, or as soon as you start to, the bark turns into a scream and a pull, and that's where you're like, okay, enough. So you kind of make that guideline like a kid at recess, like what's appropriate, like is kickball appropriate, is, whatever. It's like, where are you gonna draw that line of what's appropriate for him to expel that energy?
Yeah.
And that's something that you'll have to pick up on, but I think we can all agree that like the extra barking, the pulling on the leash, the building is big.
Yeah.
The other thing that I
absolutely.
wanted to, the other thing I wanted to do with him is I wanted to actually see what he does when we let him go to another dog too, because I think that that's something that a lot of dogs do well with, where if they're so used to being held almost captive from other dogs or greeting other dogs, it becomes this,
Pent up energy.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just becomes this constant like, I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I want to do with him today. And we'll do it with Hawk, and what we do is we put the X pin up, and we don't do what he is used to. So he sees another dog moving around, he's automatically going to say, okay, you're about to pull me back.
Yep.
I'm about to get some leash pressure. What I want to do is, as soon as you get the X pin up, you just break him and let him go over there. And then we'll be able to see his intention, but it'll also give him an opportunity to outlet some of those squeaky things type stuff. So
see how what he does, basically.
Yep.
Okay.
There was one other thing that I think you wanted to work on. I don't know if it was the e-collar or what it was.
The e-collar, yeah. We would love to do that because he recalls really well sometimes and not so well other times. And we have a black lab too, and he loves our black lab. Like he just cannot get enough of him. And our black lab is very much like big brother, like, stop, dude. Like they'll play sometimes, but he gets pretty pissed off at him. You probably saw the scratch on his face. That's from my lab. So he'll correct him and tell him to knock it off. And so he's been really good with that. But there are times where he's just like, dude, he just has so much energy. He's like, I want to play, man. I want to play, man. And we need to call him off. And we run a leash in the house and we'll pull him back. But sometimes it gets around and you can't quite get him back in time, where it's just you need to cut it off. Yeah. So we'd like to be able to be like, hey, come, knock it off, and you come back.
Okay, so just recall?
Yes.
As far as the e-collar that you've done so far, did you have a trainer help you? Did you just do it on your own?
No, so we watched your videos. We did it via your videos.
Okay.
One of the main ones that we watched that we kind of followed with him was there was a black lab that you had, and you did the cage thing with Hawk, and you did the vibrate, anytime he did a growl or he was trying to do something. We've only done the vibrate.
Okay.
And it's to basically break his focus. When he locks in, he closes his mouth and he just stares down at something, he's ready to go. We'll just buzz it and then we'll just keep walking.
Okay.
And that's how we've been doing it.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I have two different segues into e-collar training. The first is intervention, which is using that e-collar pager, which I've done a bazillion times. Essentially, it's a vibrate like your cell phone, and if a dog is doing really bad behavior in the car, coming at me, like those really aggressive dogs, and then they stop, that gives me an opportunity to have the dog think clearly, modify the behavior, get over some of these things, etc. That's the exception to never using the e-collar as a punishment in the beginning stages. But again, your intervention is different from what mine is, right? Yeah. So if he's jumping on the counter, that may be your holy crap button. And then there's the introduction of the stimulation, which is, again, something I talked about yesterday, about a lot of people think that the stimulation is the corrective part. Absolutely not. It's the exact opposite. We're going to be using the stimulation to communicate with him. So he doesn't understand English sentences, right? He understands cue words. So our goal is instead of a cue word, it would be a sensation on the neck, which allows us to communicate with him, paired with a cue, a verbal cue from us. So he understands when that e-collar comes on and he feels it, that it's a representation of us. Why we do this, the beauty of the remote collar is when you when you completely let him off leash, you're able to communicate with him wirelessly. Yeah. So the introduction phase is like watching paint dry, to be honest, because you're tapping a button and asking him to do basic stuff. Most people are looking for a reaction. They're like, my dog didn't flinch, my dog didn't yelp. They're not supposed to. They're really just supposed to register this information at a very micro, low level. And that is something that is difficult for most dog owners to find because they're looking for something, and it's very subtle. That's where the experience comes in with the remote collar. I like to tell people that working with a trainer is going to be the best thing for you to do because we've done it over and over and over again. We know what levels to use. We know what we're looking for. And that's kind of like the whole polarizing political e-collar thing. Is there's so many people out there that just don't know how to do it.
Bad e-collars too. You have the ones where it's the 1 to 5 setting, and your 1 is a 50 on this guy, and it's just it completely ruins the whole benefit of these type of collars.
Correct. Yeah. Exactly. It's just somebody out there cheaply. It's the same thing I tell people about food. It's like you could go to McDonald's and you can get a salad and a burger, or you can go to a Michelin star restaurant and get a salad and a burger. And they're completely two different things, and you can't judge one and compare them because they're not comparable. Yeah. But to the people who don't know what they are, scientists and veterinarians and people who have never really handled dogs and never have worked with aggressive behavior before. They just look and speculate on what it is, and they judge equipment based off of somebody that's doing it improperly. You can't give good information and results out of that. So
Well, they probably hear the horror stories too, and
Right.
they're like, and that sticks with them, not the benefits
Yeah.
of it and what's
Right.
good about it. The negatives always outweigh the positives.
Right.
So
which is good and bad, because most of my clients come in like yourself and they say we didn't want to mess them up.
Yeah.
And I think that I have something to do with that, of telling people like, don't mess them up, don't mess it up, because there is that, because when you're using technology, it's really easy to make mistakes, especially if you don't know what you're doing. So really it's really simple. You keep it low and you just tag it in, which I'll show you how to do. We'll probably turn on the sound box.
Okay.
And I'll probably switch you to my 280C, which is going to be similar to yours. The only reason why I want to do that is I want to make sure you are on the exact numbers that you need.
Okay.
I don't mind using that.
Well, I think we'd like to get yours anyways,
Okay.
because we can trade this one in. We'd rather have that because we like the boost. We like the
Okay, cool.
that one.
So let me grab that. What level are you at? You at
I
5?
think it was 6.
Okay.
Or no, it went down to 3 somehow. I must have hit it.
So let's start using it with your basics.
Okay.
So I would just use okay, so let me show you. So this is your boost.
Okay.
You can set this collar to where this isn't boost, this is just continuous.
Okay.
But right now it is set to boost. So you're just gonna this is your nick and this is your continuous nick. So before it was just nick continuous. Now you can tap this or you can hold this.
Okay.
And it'll work as a continuous at some degree.
Okay.
So what I would be doing is when you're asking him to sit, holding, place, holding, down, same thing, and then when you're asking him to heel, you just kind of tap that.
Okay.
And again, it's not going to be a correction for him at all. It's just going to be a very simple.
introduction.
Yep. So go ahead.
Okay. Chief, heel. Good heel. Chief, heel. Good heel. Chief, place. Good place.
Yeah, that's nice.
Good. Good job. Right. Heel. Good heel.
That's a beagle, for sure.
Heel. Heel. Good heel. Okay. Chief, sit. Good sit. Okay. Heel. Good heel. Heel.
Good.
Good heel. Good heel. Chief, place. Good place. Okay. Good job. Good
That's pretty
boy.
much it.
Okay.
That's how you do it. I mean, that's how it's like. It's no. I mean, you guys have an idea on how to do it.
Yeah.
So when you're doing the continuous nick on that collar, it's really nice for me to hear it and see it because I use it myself, but I haven't had the sound box on, so you can actually hear it. So when you're saying heel, you're basically replacing some of that leash pressure with the continuous pressure. Now there's a big difference because the leash pressure is going to be a little bit more physical and demanding, where the stimulation at this level is going to be more subtle.
Like just like
So-
a reminder, like, hey, you know what you're supposed to do. Right
Yeah,
now.
it's just like a, hey, come on, let's go, let's get into place. And the more fluent he gets on that remote collar, and again, the big thing, making sure, is this isn't necessary for the obedience that we're doing for him. So you don't have to do this at all. It's like, why don't you just ask him to do it and he'll do it? He will. But for the long-term sustainability of off-leash, then that's where it gets hairy for most people, is because you don't want to just put it on and then use it, and then he's like, what the hell is that? So think about it as learning a new language. Your very basic stuff, learning a new language where you're asking him to do stuff and he's getting fluent, he's getting comfortable, he's familiarizing himself with it, he understands it really nicely.
He knows where it's coming
He
from.
knows where it's coming from. He knows how to
Yeah.
shut it off. He's not having like, what the heck is this? Very low stuff. Because to a lot of people, it's almost redundant of like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And it's because when he's out there, when shit hits the fan at some point where he's not listening, and the e-collar pressure then goes up, right? And it intensifies, he'll immediately know what the heck that is and where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Where you saw with like Butter, what they were saying is they have a really cheap $30 unit. And they were saying that when they used it, they were afraid of butter actually just running away further, and that happens. So that's the importance of, and that's why it's just like all this confusion about the remote collar of just education of what it is and its intended use. And you know, I personally think if we could all meet in the middle about remote collars and even prong collars and other things, to just say it should be regulated, just like guns or anything else that could potentially be dangerous in the wrong hands are, to some extent. Of course, that's a whole other conversation, but the reality is if
training,
like,
right,
if you
understand how to use it.
But you can't just go in and say like, I have no idea what I'm doing, I just want this.
Yeah.
That would be more beneficial, even for most countries that these things are banned in, because of like what we were talking about in the UK of dogs getting shot and killed because the recall sucks.
Yep.
It's like you gotta have something here, guys. You know, let's meet in the middle to say, okay, I agree.
Yeah.
Not everybody, and I agree. Like when PetSmart and Petco or whoever the hell it was took their really crappy shock collars off the shelves, I was applauding.
Oh,
I was
absolutely.
Like, get them out of there. Don't let, A, they're
Yeah.
terrible collars, and B, you don't want Karens going in there and buying a remote collar to nail their dog if they're barking because they're not getting exercise.
Yep.
So I think that there's got to be this middle gray area of like, when used properly from a trainer that is educated and well versed on it, it's going to be great. So
Yeah,
anyway,
absolutely.
what I like to do is do things that are going to put him into position. So place and sit and down, because when you're healing, it's not really as significant.
It is kind of difficult with the heel too, like when he's kind of like, so I guess the best way to use it when he's healing, when he's kind of trailing off, or when
Yeah, here, let me show you. I'll show you how I usually do it. So I usually just do this, heel. Good, and I just like tap just to let him know we're going.
Okay.
And then heel, good. Heel. Good, heel. Just like that. I know,
Okay.
heel.
So it's just like
Yep.
a, hey,
Yeah.
we're going.
Yeah,
Okay.
yep, okay, free.
Heel. Good. Good heel. He's like, gotta get a shot for the camera. Place. Good place. Good. Oh, nope. Let go. Heel. Good heel. Chief, sit. Good sit. Chief, down. Down. Chief, down.
And then that's where
Good down.
in the future you could use the boost.
Okay.
It's not bad to use it right now. I just like to keep it, because he's never felt that.
Right. Like he's still not quite used to it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chief, sit. Good sit. Chief, down. Chief, down. Down.
How well do you think he knows down?
He, like, we don't do it very often. He knows it, but we do have to push him sometimes.
So what I like to do is just kind of go back to the basics.
Okay.
So I'll turn it up to like a 3, down. Yes, good down.
Okay.
Good
And
down.
kind of like pair it, but do like regular training
Yeah.
with him too, with the treats and
Yeah.
stuff. Okay.
I just give the dog the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I'm just so used to dogs really not knowing what the hell they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And dog owners are like, they know it. Not
Yeah.
saying that that's you guys, it's just,
Yeah.
this is what I do now. Okay,
Yep.
free. Good. Down.
Well, it
Good
helps him
down.
understand what,
Kinda
like
like
what that
revisits
is
it?
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't think he's not really used to laying down like when we're healing and sitting and walking type of thing.
Yeah.
Like he'll do like a lay down if we're in the house or
Yeah.
whatever it may be.
So just recondition it.
Okay. Let me
You had
see your
mentioned
face.
yesterday there's kind of like an art to playing tug with a dog.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool
Sure.
to go over.
You know the long line, don't ya? Yeah.
Because he definitely enjoys that.
Yeah, buddy. Cool. So we'll give him a little chill out break
Okay.
here. But yeah, when you're playing tug, you want to, again, it's, I think oftentimes people do that tug and it's literally a tug of war, and they try to take it away from the dog and overpower them. And you really just want it to be a bonding experience. And that's why I like using the ball on a rope. That's a Herm Springer ball on a rope, which is really nice. And so when the dog's playing, what you can do is you let them win, you kind of let them drag you around a little bit, and then you drop it and you encourage them to bring it back, and it just becomes like this ebb and flow of playing. So like with Lakota, my dog, when I give her a tug toy, she'll punch it to me back. Like she's not going to take it and run away from it, because what really excites her is playing tug with somebody. She likes taking it and ripping it and pulling and all that stuff. And it's got to be attached to somebody in order for that to happen. So I think a lot of people have the misconception of, and it's up to you, like if you want to overpower your dog and take it away from them, and then what ends up happening is they possess it. That's why they won't bring it back. That's why they won't drop it. All that stuff usually happens when you try to overpower, and they take it and they hide it and they throw it up here and they ask the dog to do a bunch of stuff. You don't want to do that, and I'll show you how to do it here in a minute. But you want to work with the dog on the tug and create that bond and create that relationship and that fun, exciting things, especially for shepherds, terriers, any dog that just really likes to play tug, because it really outlets things. Most importantly overall is it's a great reward. A dog that's not food motivated, or maybe somebody that doesn't want to walk around with a treat pouch every single time that they go out, they can throw a ball in their pocket and take a walk. Or, I mean, in my case, Lakota, like she'll play tug with anything. Like I could give her paper towels and she'll start playing tug. So I think that it really, like for some dogs, they're going to be more motivated with an object, stemming and derivative from a prey drive. They chase, they love the chase, they bring it back, they love to rip it and play it and shred it and kill it and do all that stuff. And so most dogs that have that prey drive will actually like to do that better. And you know, like Lakota's food, she motivates off of both things. She loves food, she loves tugs. So it just depends. I like using tug, that's my preferred reward, because it's more of a us thing.
Bonding,
like,
yeah.
Right,
yeah.
right. Like when I give her a piece of food, she swallows it, it goes away, she asks for another one. If I throw the ball, she goes and gets it, she brings it back, and she's like, let's do something with this. That's why I like using that, because it just creates that bond and fun. It's just fun. Yeah. And it tires the dog out too. Yeah. So essentially what I do, again, like that's what I try to do in my career, is kind of soak up information from every angle to give you guys the best, most greatest information you could get. But you know, when I worked with police departments and raising and training police dogs and just watching people in club like Schutzen or whatever the heck they're calling it these days, and PSA and French ring and things like that, you want the dog to be obsessed with this. So essentially, like when this comes out, like how he's giving me the eyes right now, that's exactly like what you want the dog to do, is focused. And when this is out, they're working for this. And when they're not working for this, this is like gone. Yeah. Doesn't exist, or up on away. Yeah. And you don't want them, it's not, another thing with the playing tug with dogs is there's a black and white binary difference between a tug toy and a let me kill this bark box toy and get the squeaker out toy. Let me go chew on this on the bed toy. Those are two different things. When you're using a professional tug toy, like this is a Hermspringer tug toy, this is used to play tug with the dog, not for the dog to go and chew on, because they're going to rip it up, right? A lot of people don't realize that when I talk about tug and I talk about play, they think like, oh yeah, they love their bark box toys. I'm not talking about
toys,
that.
yeah.
I'm talking about playing tug with your dog.
Specific purpose.
Specific, right.
How do you feel about like toys just in the house, like just laying around?
Yeah, that's how my house is.
Okay.
I have toys everywhere. Squeaker toys, the fluffies that my mom gets the dogs, or the bark box cons or whatever. But it just depends on the dog, right? Because Lakota's never going to run out of drive. So if I had problems with going outside and getting her to focus, because all day, it's a currency. It's all it is this is a currency. So some dogs, out of $100 bills at the highest, this is a $100 bill. Some of dogs, it's $5. If your dog is lacking drive and not committed and not obsessed, then you're not going to leave all these $50 bills around the house all day. And then when you go outside, you're like, hey, I got a $10 bill. They're like, I don't care about that at all.
That's kind of what we're wondering with him, because he just kind of like, he sees something, he's like, oh, cool, and then he's like, never mind. Or like, he won't come back to you if I have like his slurp pull. Like sometimes he will. Other times he's like, oh, I can play with that anytime I want. So
correct. You don't want to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
You want to, well, I don't want to say, just when you're what you're trying to do is you're trying to develop an obsession.
Yeah.
Like if you've ever seen Lakota work with me or any type of working dog, They're so obsessed and they'll do anything for it. But if I have, like with her, like I said, is I don't worry about her drive ever going away, ever.
Yeah.
So she can go and grab a toy and rip it up all day long. I don't care about that. But if I had problems with her getting encouraged and motivated to go out and nail a tug, they would all go away. So when you're out and you're playing tug, she's like, yes, finally. Come here, buddy. Come on. Yes, good boy. Good boy. Good job. I'm going to let him win it really quick. Yeah, good boy. Good. Come on. Yes, good boy. Good job. So you kind of just like go with the flow with him a little bit.
Yeah.
Good boy.
It's not
Good
like
job.
full-on war happening.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So you let him win. You have him on the long lane. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes. He gives it back to you, and then you immediately start playing. Oh, he pulls you around. Pulls you around. And you're basically just. This is a confidence thing for dogs. Like we see dogs do bite work for building confidence because it's like, oh, you're so strong.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, look at you. Good boy.
A little bit of acting involved.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what like a lot of, oh, good boy. Good job. That's what like a good decoy will do. Like
Yeah.
they're really trying to let them know like you're really doing a damage here. And the dog's like, yay. Good boy.
They're like, heck yeah, I am.
Yeah, so you're just playing and I just like, petting the dog. Good boy. Good job. Really just letting him know like, yeah, buddy, be obsessed with this.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to build this obsession so I can use it as a reward. Ooh, good boy. Good job.
And you yourself are part of that.
Exactly. And he's not possessing it. Like I'm not here saying O-U-T, O-U-T, D-R-O-P. I'm just like, yeah, buddy, good boy.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job. Hey, come on. Come on. Yes, good boy. Good. And then as soon as he gives it to me, it turns on again. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. Good. Good job. Good. Okay. Good man. Oh, good boy. Good job. Good job, big guy. Oh, good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Some decoys will like do this if we're doing tug work because it imitates like a heartbeat.
Oh,
So a lot of people,
interesting.
yeah. So people think it's cute when their dog's ripping up toys and stuffies. They're just killing an animal. That's all they're
Yeah.
doing. Good. Good job. Yeah. Yes. Come on. Get your ball. Hey. Good boy. So as soon as he dropped it, boom, I get it right back. Ooh. And then in the future, if he drops it again, I'll just put it away. Teaching him the game of like, stay hungry.
Yeah, like you got to keep going. Oh, got to keep going to play.
Good boy. Good job. Oh, you're so strong. Good boy.
He's like just looking
Good
at you like, what do you
boy.
want?
Good boy. I know. Get it. Good. And then I'll let him win it. Good boy. Good job, buddy. Good job. Yeah. Good. When you're developing that bite, you're trying to develop like a crushing bite. They never let go. So as soon as he goes down to like pick at it and dig at it and figure it out, boom, it's gone. Don't let it go, ever. It's just feeding that obsession. When you do bite work, like we used to have a PSA group here, which is like a protection club basically. It's real life protection, so carjacking scenarios, handling defensive scenarios, so it's like protection work. And when you're working dogs on protection work, you're doing it explosively for like 5 minutes where it's like bang, 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 bang. You get them obsessed, you get them aggravated and pissed off to like keep going, like let me get the tug. And in most cases it's the sleeve. And when they're like at their peak is when you cap them and you put them back. So that way when they're coming out again, so you don't want them to be exhausted when they're doing that. You want them to be full on all the time.
Like ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a special thing. So if it comes out every now and then and you're playing and you're working, it's a special thing and it's like really exciting. And then it goes away and then they don't smell it or see it again, until you're ready to play. And that's how you build that. But if you have 10 of these laying around the house, it's not going to be that.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you have like a leave it, remind me?
Leave it.
Okay. So you want to give him let me see. You want to give him the command to disengage, but you also want to make sure that you're giving him a job too. So when you come out, heel, 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 good heel, good heel. So see how he is just engaged. He wants to go see these dogs, and see how Butter here is sniff, sniff, right? So that was a great thing to see. So Butter just turned around, sniffed Chief, but because she is so concerned of Mom that immediately that goes here. So similar to what we're doing with Indy is sometimes you just want to sit here and soak of, hey, this is it. I've done this too sometimes where I rewatch videos and I'm like, man, I should have just let a dog soak, where I'm just too busy on trying to distract, or I'm too busy trying to correct. And sometimes you just do this, and this is all you need, because this is actually what you're working for anyway, right?
We've never been able to do that, so
Yep.
pretty cool.
So you want to just hang out here, so you could come take the leash and just be. That's what I'm doing with Indy, but Indy's a little bit more used to this. So you're getting sniffing here, and just all you're gonna do is just restrict just a little bit, and that's it. So you're not correcting, and then and then boom, right? So it's a socialization thing. So as she gets closer and as she gets more activated over there and starts moving around, what he's gonna do is he's gonna go, oh, and he's gonna get another smell of her, and then you're like, hey, come on over here, and then he lays back down. So we're trying to create calmness around other dogs, and in some of these cases, other people too. Make sense? Okay.
If he starts to get turned up, you give the leave it command, try to bring him back.
Yes.
Bring him down.
Yes.
Good job.
Yeah. You just would redirect and go the other way. And we're not working on obedience. We're just kind of holding him right here. And the whining is just excitement.
Just talking.
Yeah. He's just like, did you see her? Did you see her? Did you see her? And he's just.
And we were talking about that in the car on the way back earlier. We're just like, it's very easy to tell with him when it's like, I'm about to blow versus just chatting.
Correct.
So it's nice that we kind of realize that. We never
Yes.
thought about it before, so
Yes.
you don't really think about it.
Everything
But
was about to be that typical.
yeah, but everything was like, but now it's like, okay, he's just talking.
Correct.
He's just chatting.
And the more you do this and the more you let it soak, the better it's going to get. Now, the only realistic thing to add to this mix is not every dog is going to do this. So if you get another dog that's makes him look silent, then you just avoid it. That's all. Because it's not good. It's not good learning. Like, this is all good. This is all really good. Here, let me show you. Just like if he's engaging like this, I would actually like not really do anything, because this is like him trying to figure other dogs out, and he's wearing some of that. He's thinking out loud. Let's put it that way. And then he lays down. So it's chirp, 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 because he's like, what are you? Who are you? How are you? Blah, 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 right? And he's just thinking out loud. Once it gets explosive and really vocal and overpowering and you can't hear yourself think, that's where you're like, hey, knock it off. What are you doing?
Or like when he starts kind of like moving
Right.
quickly.
Absolutely.
Tries to.
Absolutely. Yeah. But even if he gets up and does this, like, you can just post up right there and that's it.
And he's just hanging out.
Yeah. And of course, this is going to build potential frustration between them, but it's just good saturation here.
Good for him to know he can be around other dogs and not have
Correct.
a panic attack.
That's what we're practicing this. So it's the practice of nothingness, really. And sometimes you have to practice it. It's bizarre, but you do. We're just going to move Chief around once she's set up. And all you're going to do is you're going to ping, but you're not going to. You want me to do it first? So you got it.
Ping without the pause.
Ping
Yeah.
without the
Yeah.
Ping without the pump.
Half of the ping pong.
I got it. We're good.
Okay. So just all you're going to do is just walk back and forth. You can engage with him too. So if you want to do some drawbacks, you want to do some payment, you want to whatever, just make it as positive as you can.
Yep.
Good sit. And that's where you would reward there, like good sit. Yep. So basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to, here, let me see, just 1 second. It's easier to just show you.
Yeah.
So just heel her a couple times around here. Chief, sit. Good sit. Good sit. Well done. Chief, Chief. Yes. Oh, good man. Good man. And so that's where you would pay him once he does good with that.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure, like,
Yep.
what's the difference between, like,
Yes.
yesterday when we're talking about, like, not talking to him too much, and then today being, like, kind of that middle ground where
Yeah.
I think I'm having a hard time understanding, like,
Yeah, so
when
you,
I should and when I shouldn't type of thing.
yep. Yesterday you were very like heel, good heel, good heel, good heel, good heel, good heel. Today it's Indy walks by and he's like, ooh, a leaf. Then you would say good sit or good down or whatever the heck he's doing.
Because he
At-
actually did something.
right.
There.
And at this point, you don't even have to like. It's discretionary. That's why it's like hard to.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of fact anything. It's dogs.
Yeah.
There's no. You could.
That's why I was, like,
The buzzer,
refraining
like you
from
were saying
doing
yesterday,
it.
The e-collar, you think like you were thinking
Yes.
as the dog, like Chief looked at him but looked away. That was a good decision for him.
Yes.
Compared to 2 days ago.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
So it's based on good decisions that he makes.
Yes, good
He had an
decisions.
opportunity
Better
to-
decisions. Better decisions. So if I tell him to sit and he lays down and sniffs the grass as this dog is coming, I'm not going to be a heckler about the sit
Sure.
because
That's still a better decision.
I'm looking at the macro here, right? And it's counterintuitive because the micro makes the macro on the sitting and obedience. But if he decides to lay down, I'm like, all right, you don't have to sit for right now because this is beautiful.
I
We
would-
can
that's-
tune up
yeah, we
obedience
can,
later.
Right,
absolutely.
right.
Okay.
And then if he is in a sit and he's looking at you for, am I doing it? That's where you would say, yeah, good job. But if he's finding work on his own down there, just let him lie. And again, I think it's so many people have, when they have a reactive dog, and all I work with primarily is reactive dogs. So a lot of the things that we do are gonna be similar, but it's not gonna be applicable to when you're doing basic obedience with a puppy with no problems. But I do know that living the life of a reactive dog owner, you forget sometimes to just let them do this. Like, this is great. Same thing with her and same thing with Butter, but sometimes if they just lay down, you're like, I'm just gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna soak this in. And every now and then you might just pay him for doing this.
You're
So
so used to everything being for, like, a battle. Like, I'm always, like, ready for battle. Like,
Right.
every time. Like, all right, got
exactly.
everything. Here we go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's rightfully so, you know, it's I get it. But that's why my job is to say, hey, you're not in battle right now. Like, you're out of that woods for right now. Good. Good job, Chief. Good. Good. We'll do it one more time. We're going to stop this time in the middle, okay? Left. Aus. Left. Heel. Good. Go ahead and stop.
Chief, sit.
Stay. Good. And just hold back into a sit. There you go. And just hold that.
Squatting, I didn't realize it.
It's okay. So we'll just hold that. And he's just gonna get a little chirpy. It's just okay. Quarter, come. Yeah. Good. So he'll need some time. Like, every new step for him is different. So everything new that she does is gonna be different. So anytime, like, if you're passing, he's like, okay, I've seen that picture before.
Yep.
But when you're doing this type of stuff, that's good. Yeah.
Ah, what? Chief. But sit.
Good.
Smiling.
Is he interested in the ball or no?
He is. Not as much as he was before.
Okay.
Do you want me to break him?
Yeah, see if you can just break him out this way and get him into the ball. Cora, stay, stay.
Chief, okay. Oh, good job.
Okay, we're gonna get Butter in the mix here in a second. I think after time, when you go out and you work, like the first, maybe second dog, you'll get some vocalizations, but I bet by the like third or fourth dog, he'll be,
He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a new dog, but I've seen like 5 today, so
Yeah.
we're good.
because he's very consistent on just only reacting within the first minute or so.
And we've kind
Which
of
is good.
noticed that where it's like we just didn't know what to do with it.
Mhm.
It's like how do you control that?
Yeah, totally.
But still let him express himself because he needs to.
Right. And just realizing that it's not aggression or anything, it's just he's like chirping. And I think it's that. I think it's just figuring out what it was helps big time.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like it's not like aggression, it's just normal young German Shepherd reactivity in a sense of just being overly stimulated and chirping.
We've definitely noticed, like when the off-leash dogs come up to us, or even like, you know, he meets a new dog, like he comes in all tough, but then the second they get close, he's like, shh.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
He's like, never mind, I was lying.
Yep.
So he's all bark, no bite, but
Exactly.
we just wanted to make sure that that was the case and there wasn't anything else that we should be like.
No, I think it's just the new same thing with her, really, Indy. Like anything new for her, especially if she doesn't know what like the cart. Like we brought the cart out and
Yeah.
forget it. She was like yeah.
Like,
She was
what?
like I gotta
Okay.
get this thing out of here. So it's like anything that's new, you know. And then I think too, like with Dakota, if I bring her to certain locations that she's gonna go play, like a frisbee or ball, or if I bring her to Taylor's parents' house where they have dogs, she's like, once we pull down the road, she's like whining. I'm not gonna correct her for whining or even punish her for whining because I get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, you're super excited to be here. Could I do some obedience to subside some of the whining? Yes, but even if I put her into a down, it's still gonna come out. She's still gonna tea kettle out.
She still has to express it.
Yeah, it's just it's just coming out. It's just like a leak in the hose
Sorry,
there.
Dad, I can't help it.
Yeah,
It's happening.
and again, you just pick your battles. It's not a big deal to me because it's only 45 seconds to a minute of excitement, and I get it too. And you know, to me, to a certain extent, like I don't want her to not have that ability to be a dog and be excited about going to do stuff. Like I don't want to take that away. I find a lot of people, some of my clients even, they think that their dog can never be like that, and they can under certain circumstances. You haven't really used the stimulation. Okay.
Not as much, no.
Okay.
Just a little bit
So
yesterday.
just use it the same way that I did. I usually do continuous to the different positions. So all you're doing is you're asking the dog to do very basic stuff. You're saying place, the dog goes there, poof, it goes away. Sit, the dog sits, poof, it goes away. It's a basic form of escape training. It's very simple. And again, the dog will understand, oh, this is you. That's it. So
Just like a quick nick at heel, just to
yeah, usually just to get the dog's attention, I'll just tap Nick. And again, you may watch somebody else train and they may do it completely different. I have colleagues and friends that I respect very much that don't do it the way that I do it. They use it as a correction immediately. They turn the stimulation up and they use it as a correction, and that's how they do their healing, that's how they do their sitting, and they get great results with it. I just do it differently. That's the way I do it. The way that I learned, just so you guys know, is from monks. So the monks in New Skeet they're monks. New Skeet is actually like an hour away. They had a television show on Animal Planet. They wrote a couple books.
Huh.
And I learned remote collar training from the monks. Some of the most religious, peaceful people in the world taught me how to use the remote collar. And I didn't necessarily learn from them, but I learned from their trainers there. And I've worked with Brother Christopher, and I've been there. I did a podcast with them too, which is interesting. It's on my YouTube channel. It's pretty cool how they got into it. But they breed and sell and train pet German Shepherds.
Sit. Good sit. Place. Good place. Good job. Let's go. Heel. Good job. Right here. Heel. Good. Heel. Good. Place. Good place. Good job. Lay down. Good down. Let's go. Good. Heel. Heel. Good heel. Good heel. Chief, sit. Good sit. Down. You don't want to do it. You didn't really do it yesterday either. Down. Good job.
So really quick, because I know that this is a question I get, and it's probably going to come up. The training that I just did with Indy, that recall, like how do you know when your dog is ready to go off leash? Mm-hmm. That is how you know. My test to know if a dog really understands the remote collar, because it's kind of subtle, like with Chief, you're not, is he feeling it? Is he not? You know, so some of the things that I do is exactly that. Is I do recall with the remote collar with high distraction. The other thing that I do is I'll let the dog out and I'll do 5 recalls with the continuous, just like I did with Indy. 5 recalls, pay, pay, pay. let the dog out, and on the 6th time, I just turn the remote on to see if they condition with it. So if they respond and they go, oh, I know what that is, I know. It's very simple. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, because that's my test. And that's what I did with Indy essentially, is I didn't do the nonverbal, but I put the remote collar down and I say, come, and she flew right to me. So if you really wanted to test it out at home in the future, that's what you would do. Come, 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 come. And if she responds, you're in. You're golden.
Cool.
I just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing to test out, and we can even do it. We will, and like I said, it's kind of up to you. We were scheduled till 12, so if you wanted to do it with Indy or any of the other dogs, I can show you outside. But that's what you would do, and it's a cool way to really see if they're responding.
Yeah.
And that's how I tell people it's a positive experience. I was working. I wasn't working. I was talking to one of the lead veterinarian behavioralist over at Cornell University, which is pretty close from here, but it's a big veterinarian school. And you know, the hard thing with being a trainer that uses and utilizes tools, but also utilizes a ton of other things in the dog training world, when you do a test or you do a study or you do this, they're not taking somebody like myself who is very in tune with how to use the tools the way that I'm using it, the way that I'm teaching it, the way that I'm explaining it, etc. And so anyway, their opinion on them are predicated off of the test that they've done with somebody who doesn't, they're not using the nice tools with the low stim, they're using the shock collars who don't have that ability, and they're using it with a person who may not have any experience with the tools or have never used it. And as you guys know, like you said, when you came in really green, maybe you didn't know how to use the prong, maybe you didn't know how to use the e-collar, and you had a lot of questions. These are lab coat scientists also putting together these tests for the most part, from some of the studies that I've seen. So I was talking to her about doing a test and doing a study on conditioning the dog to the remote collar to associate a very positive experience with dopamine and with a lot of happy things going on in the head. And the way that we would do that is more like the Pavlovian type thing, where what I was going to do is, and what I've done in the past is, I do that. E-collar 5, dog comes back, pay. E-collar 5, the dog comes back, pay. So if I do that for a week and I do a low level and I pay the dog, what will happen is as soon as the dog feels that stimulation, immediately they'll go and they'll get really excited. Because the anticipation is when the e-collar comes on, they come to me and they get paid. And that's something that I know for a fact works, and I've done it in several videos. There's a video I did with a dog named Cole. He's a black lab. Labs are the absolute best to introduce the remote collars with. I don't know why. Their learning curve is like a day. They're done. They're just like, yeah, they're there. Yeah. So I did that with Cole. I let him out and I would call him. And as soon as he felt that e-collar stimulation, you could just see him. He does a wheelie. His jowls go flying back, his ears go flying back, and he's ripping to me he's so excited. So the e-collar stimulation represented payment, which ultimately gave the dog a ton of dopamine, and he associated the stimulation with 100% reward-based systems. And I wish that we could put that into a collegial thing, but it's difficult because it takes a ton of test variations. And they were open to it, and they were like, I don't know. I'm like, I've done it on video multiple times. It's great. But anyway, so.
If you collect enough videos, it might work.
Yeah, and it does work. You know, like I don't need to put out a test writtenly from a college that says that it works. I know it works because I do it every day. Yeah. So anyway, I just want to throw that in, that a lot of times once you continue to condition that remote collar, that's essentially what will happen, especially if you're doing the recall with the dog, is they get excited when they feel that stimulation and everything reverses, you know? So it's beautiful. It's really, really cool. Questions? Feel good about it?
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing I want to do in here before we put him back is some recall.
Okay.
So we're going to do the same thing. He's going to do probably pretty good because he likes you a lot. So same thing. Like I can do it with him. We'll see how he does. If he's locked onto you and he doesn't get away from you, I'll do it.
Okay.
but I'd like to just give him a break and let him sniff around and then come and then e-collar.
Okay. That's not how it works, bud. You're on the leash, dude. I don't want to make it fun either, so I'm trying not to move quickly. He wants the
You
end
can
of the lead.
just drop the leash.
Okay. Oh, good job.
Okay, call him.
Chief, come.
Good.
Good job.
Good.
Whoa. Good job.
So you were just a second off on your timing.
Okay.
So when
A little
you
quicker, and
when
then
you match it with your voice.
Okay.
Anytime your voice turns on, that turns on.
Okay.
So you told him to come and then you did it. So go ahead and do it here. It's a good distraction.
Chief, come.
Hold, release.
Chief, come. Good job. Good boy.
Check your,
Oh, thanks, bud.
see where your levels are at. So you guys see how he's like flickering?
I'm at like a 5.
I just go down.
Okay, dude.
But that level there is where you're going to want to go right below. That's a corrective level, just like with Indy. We don't really know.
That's why I hate this thing.
It's a dial. It's not digital. It's just like
You
a
can't totally tell. So it could have, it was somewhere between 5 and 10.
But that collar is going to have a little bit higher output, I think. I'm not sure, but because it's got 100 levels instead of 127, I would assume. But I'm not entirely sure. I don't use them for that reason because I need to be precise on my numbers to tell people exactly like what levels to use. It's just I think it's like a $30 to $50 difference between the 280C and that.
And the only reason we got this one is because they didn't have the 280C. So we did not get this one because we wanted it.
What? What? Yeah. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Go ahead and call him.
Chief, come. Chief, come.
Hold. Release.
Good.
Release.
Good. Come.
So the moment he turns to you, you release.
Okay. This is a little bit harder.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go down a little bit further.
And I think too, like here, watch this. This would be interesting. Hawk a boy, call him. Don't use the remote though.
Okay. Chief, come. Good
Good.
boy.
So see how he still shakes his head?
So like regardless, yeah.
I don't think it's the e-collar. I think it's the bungee strap.
Yeah. It's tickling his ear.
So it's not the e-collar really. So don't worry about it. I remembered that from yesterday.
Yep,
that
that's a
he's
very
more
good point.
sensitive to that. So it's not the e-collar that's making him do that. It's the bungee straps hitting his ears.
Yeah. Chief, come.
Hold.
Come.
Now just back up and give him a
Come.
target. There you go.
Good
There you go.
job.
Good. Good.
So to put in context too, his recall is not very good, like regardless.
No, he did good. He did good. So just whenever you get a dog that's stagnant like that, they're either saying, do I have to? Or they're saying, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Like you said, like maybe he doesn't know it that well. And what you want to do is give yourself a target. So if you're standing there and you're like, come, versus come, that's exactly why he came to you.
You could tell that's what
exactly.
he did. Yep.
He
Nope,
really
that
felt
makes
that.
a lot of sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just make yourself a target.
Okay.
Hold
Hope
on
he's
one
gonna
second
get
because he's
tangled.
going to get wrapped up.
Like that would have been a fun one, bud.
Okay, you can call him.
Chief, come. Good boy. Comes in so hard.
Now he comes
Good
in hot.
job. Good job.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we'll swap him and Butter out, and then we'll get Butter out, and we'll do some collar work for that.
Let's go, bud.
Good job. Questions on that?
No, I think that makes a lot of, the backing up makes a big difference. So
Okay.
I think that'll help a lot with him.
Okay, cool.